want you blind. Not physically, but financially. Because a blind man doesn't see the storm until it swallows him whole. And most never make it back. They gave you a diploma, but never taught you how to read a profit and loss statement. Taught you how to take orders, not how to track your expenses. Taught you how to dream big, but not how to balance a damn budget. So you chase freedom with broken tools and wonder why your life feels like a cage. Let me make it real for you. Money doesn't care about your feelings. Debt doesn't care how hard you work. And storms don't warn the unprepared. You see, most people wait until the wind shreds their roof, until their accounts are overdrawn and their options are gone, until they're begging for a lifeboat. But there's no one left to save them. Why? Because they skipped the basics. And in this game, the basics are life or death. You don't need to be a Wall Street genius. You need to understand where your money comes from. And more importantly, where it bleeds. You need to know how to track every dollar like it's a soldier in your army. Because when the war hits your doorstep, it's your budget that becomes your shield. Budgeting isn't boring. It's survival. Accounting isn't math homework. It's power. They'll call it small-minded to focus on pennies. But let me ask you this. How many people you know got crushed under a mountain of bills because they ignored the pennies that became dollars? That became chains? You want to win? Master your battlefield. The storm is coming. Whether it's a recession, job loss, or life flipping you upside down. And only those who study the terrain survive. The ones who track, budget, prepare, while everyone else hopes and prays. Hope doesn't keep the lights on. Discipline does. I've seen warriors fall not because they lack strength, but because they lack structure. All that ambition, crushed by late fees, overdrafts, and credit card slavery. Wake up. You want freedom? Then master your numbers. You want peace of mind? Then build a system that can't be shaken by the storm. You want to survive when others drown? Then start today. Track every dollar. Build your war chest. Understand your inflows and outflows like your life depends on it. Because it does. In the end, it's not the grand plans that save you. It's the foundation you built when no one was watching. The basics: budgeting, tracking, awareness, control. This is the true armor of the self-made. So no more excuses. No more ignorance. No more hoping someone else will fix your mess. This is your war. Grab your weapons. The storm is coming, and you will be ready. Now that you've seen the battlefield for what it truly is, now that the illusion has been shattered and the stakes laid bare, it's time to stop merely surviving and start fighting back. Because awareness alone is not enough. You need weapons. You need a strategy. You need a code. So here it is. A 6-step warrior's path to take control of your finances, build resilience, and dominate your future. Each step is forged in discipline, sharpened by truth, and designed to prepare you for any storm. Let's begin. Step 1. Forge your war map. Track every dollar. Every warrior needs a map. Without one, you don't stand a chance. You could have the strongest armor, the sharpest blade, the fiercest will, but without clarity, without direction, you'll swing blindly until you're surrounded, exhausted, and defeated. In the war of life and money, that map is called awareness, financial awareness. Most people wander through life like fog-bound soldiers, swinging at shadows, confused when their bank account bleeds dry before the month is over. They call it bad luck. They call it just how things are. But the truth is far more brutal. They never tracked the battlefield. They never counted their units. They never drew the damn map. Let me tell you something. Every single dollar in your life is a soldier. And if you don't assign it a mission, it will go AWOL, disappear into the abyss of mindless spending, self-sabotage, and regret. Every dollar you fail to track is a warrior wasted. A defender left unarmed when the enemy strikes. You must become the commander, the general of your financial army. And generals don't guess. So here's where your true journey begins. Not with some complex system or advanced investment plan, but with the raw, honest audit of your current terrain. Track every dollar. That means income. That means every expense. That means every payment, every bill, every damn coffee, every pointless subscription you forgot you had. Nothing escapes your notice. Nothing. You get paid? Log it. You spend a penny? Track it. You breathe near your wallet? Track it. Why? Because what you don't track becomes invisible, and the invisible becomes dangerous. When a storm hits and the wind howls, when inflation rises and emergencies strike, the unprepared always scream, "Where did it all go?" But the truth is, they never looked in the first place. The discipline of tracking isn't about restriction. It's about control. It's about command. A warrior who knows his resources doesn't panic. He plans. He adapts. He dominates. So start now. Open a blank spreadsheet. Download a simple app. Hell, use a notebook if you must. This isn't about the tool. It's about the decision. The decision to never walk blind again. The decision to see everything. Because in the darkness of economic chaos, the one who sees is the one who survives. This is how you reclaim your power. This is how you begin to build an unshakable foundation. Not with wishful thinking, not with blame, but with absolute clarity. This is the first law of the financial warrior. Forge the map. Track every dollar. Know your terrain. Before you swing your sword, before you charge the gates of your goals, you must know the battlefield. Because the cost of ignorance is everything. Step 2. Sharpen your blade. Cut the waste. Every warrior sharpens his blade before battle. He doesn't carry rusted steel. He doesn't haul dull weapons. Because when the enemy is at the gate, hesitation gets you killed. Dead weight gets you cut down. In your life, that dead weight is waste. The unnecessary, the undisciplined, the indulgent distractions that drain your energy, your money, your focus, and slowly rot your edge. You say you're ready to build a better life, but your finances tell a different story. You're spending like a soldier feasting before a war he's not trained for. Streaming subscriptions you forgot you had. Fast food bleeding your wallet dry. Impulse buys that give you 5 seconds of dopamine. And months of regret. Every dollar wasted is a dull blade in your hand. And dull blades don't win wars. They get stuck in the enemy's armor. They break in your hand when you need them most. So what do? You cut ruthlessly. You sit down with the war map you built in step 1, and you go line by line, hunting waste like a predator in the dark. Start with subscriptions. Are you really watching all of them? Or are you paying to feel entertained while your future is being stolen? Then attack dining out. Convenience is not an excuse. It's a tax on the lazy. Audit your habits, your vices, your mindless purchases. Do you really need the brand name clothes to prove something to people who don't care about you? Do you need that overpriced drink just to numb yourself after a day spent chasing someone else's dream? Every unnecessary expense is a thief, and that thief doesn't break into your home at night. He drains you in plain sight, while you watch and call it normal. But not you. Not anymore. You're not just building a budget, you're building a weapon. And to do that, you must carve away the unnecessary with zero emotion. Feelings don't belong in this phase. This is surgical. This is strategic. You're reforging your life into a blade. And only what serves the mission stays. Everything else? Gone. Burned. Sacrificed for a future that actually means something. Because here's the truth they won't tell you. Wealth isn't built by chasing more. It's built by needing less. By owning your choices. By respecting your resources. By cutting away what no longer sharpens you. Sharpen your blade. Because when the storm hits, you won't have time to think. You'll either be ready or you'll bleed. Step 3. Build your shield. Create an emergency fund. A sword may win battles, but it's the shield that keeps the warrior alive when the arrows rain from the sky. Most people, they walk into life's battlefield naked. No defense, no armor, no backup plan. One unexpected bill, and they crumble. One job loss, and they spiral. One emergency, and they're begging for mercy from a system designed to keep them broken. That's not survival. That's slavery. You can't fight if you're bleeding. You can't win if your foundation is shattered. And you damn sure can't lead if one strike from fate can take you out of the game. That's why the third law of the financial warrior is simple but absolute. Build your shield. Your shield is your emergency fund. And I'm not talking about the $42 you keep in your checking account, hoping it's enough. No, I'm talking about a war chest. 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses, stashed away in a separate, untouchable account. Not for vacations, not for new toys, for one purpose only: protection. Because life doesn't ask if you're ready before it hits you. The car will break. The company will downsize. A health crisis will come. And when it does, you either have your shield or you're done. You want peace of mind? Then earn it. You want strength under pressure? Then build it. $1 at a time. One sacrifice at a time. One strategic deposit at a time. This fund isn't about fear. It's about power. It says, I don't need to panic. I don't need to beg. I don't need to sell my soul for survival. It says, I'm ready for the war. Come what may. Start small if you have to. $5, $20, $100. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you begin. Because every time you choose not to build your shield, you're gambling your life on the illusion of control. And the world is full of broken warriors who thought, it won't happen to me. Let me remind you, it will. And when it does, the ones who survive are not the loudest, not the strongest, but the ones who planned ahead. So build your shield. Make it sacred. Guard it with your life. Because it is your life. When the arrows come, it will be the only thing between you and the fall. Step 4. Train for the long war. Master the monthly budget. A warrior doesn't just prepare once. He trains daily. Because war is not a one-time event. It's a grind, a test of will, a relentless storm that wears down the undisciplined and exposes the unprepared. And in this long war we call life, your training ground is the monthly budget. You think budgeting is boring? Then you're not at war yet. Because when chaos comes knocking, When your income drops, your expenses spike, and uncertainty fills the air. The budget becomes your sword drills, your combat conditioning, your mental sharpening. Without it, you fall apart the second things don't go your way. You want control, you want command, then you must train. Every single month, before that first dollar lands in your hands, you sit down like a general before a siege, and you plan. You give every dollar a job. You do not let your money wander. This is a military operation. You categorize: essentials, rent, food, utilities, transportation. These are your supply lines. Defense, insurance, savings, debt payments. These are your barricades and countermeasures. Offense, investments, skills, education. These are your long-range weapons. Recreation, controlled and intentional, not indulgent. These are your rest days, not distractions. You build the plan. You stick to the plan. You adapt the plan, but you never wing it. Because winging it is for civilians, for the lost, for the soft. You're no longer playing civilian games. You're training like a soldier who knows what's coming. Because you understand one brutal truth. Money without a plan becomes chaos. And chaos doesn't care how much you made this month. It only cares how much you wasted. This habit of monthly budgeting isn't just about survival. It's about mental dominance. Every time you budget, you reclaim ground from the enemy. You move from reactive to proactive. You stop being a servant to your finances and become their commander. You want to build wealth. You want to be free. You want to never kneel to the system again. Then this is the forge. Month by month. Dollar by dollar. Discipline by discipline. This is your training. This is your edge. And those who ignore it, they break. They beg. They lose. But not you. You will become the warrior who doesn't fear the long war. Because you trained for it. You built for it. You budgeted for it. And when the fire comes, you'll already be walking through the smoke, unafraid. Step 5. Expand the territory. Learn basic accounting. A warrior may master the blade, but the general masters the war. He sees what others don't. He understands not just the battlefield, but the entire campaign. And in the financial war we fight every single day, basic budgeting is the blade, but accounting is the strategy. Most people live like foot soldiers, reactive, blind, following orders they don't understand. But you're becoming something different, something dangerous. You're not just here to survive the storm. You're here to conquer territory, to build an empire, to command your future like a battlefield you've already won. And to do that, you must learn to speak the language of control. The cold, precise, relentless language of numbers, assets, liabilities, and equity. Because here's the hard truth. If you don't understand basic accounting, you are being played. You'll be manipulated by flashy income. You'll think cash in your hand means profit. You'll confuse motion with progress. You'll be rich on payday and broke by the 12th. And worst of all, you'll make critical life decisions on faulty assumptions. You think understanding accounting is only for business owners? Wrong. It's for warriors. It's for the ones who don't want to be lied to, not by others, not by themselves. So what do you learn? Start with the income statement, your profit and loss. This is your battle report. It tells you, are you gaining ground or being pushed back? It shows you if you're spending more than you earn. It reveals the leaks in your strategy and the victories in your discipline. Then move to the balance sheet. This is your map of power. It tracks what you own, assets, what you owe, liabilities, and what remains if the world burns down tomorrow, equity. This is the truth no one can argue with. Then understand cash flow, the lifeblood of your army, because you can look profitable on paper and still starve. Cash flow tells you what's real, what's moving, what's alive. Learn these basics, and suddenly the fog lifts. You'll see why people with six-figure incomes are drowning in debt. You'll see how small investments compound like an ambush laid over time. You'll see how financial traps are laid in plain sight, but only visible to the trained eye. This is your recon, your advanced training, your leap from warrior to commander. Because if you want to play this game at the highest level, you must stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a strategist. Read books, take free courses, study others, do whatever it takes to learn the fundamentals. This knowledge is not optional. It's your tactical advantage. Your edge in a world where most are led by fear, confusion, and lies. Those who understand accounting control the game. Those who don't, they are the game. So sharpen your mind, read the numbers, see the patterns, and expand your territory. Not by luck, not by hope, but by intelligent domination. You're not here to be a pawn. You're here to be the master of the board. And this is how you start. You've been lied to, told that money was just numbers on a screen, that budgeting was boring, that accounting was for someone else, that survival would come from working harder, not smarter. But now, you see through it. You've opened your eyes to the truth, that this world is a battlefield, and most people are marching into it unarmed. They don't track their dollars. They carry financial deadweight. They have no shield, no plan, no strategy. And when the storm hits, they fall. But not you. Not anymore. You've begun the transformation from blind consumer to conscious warrior. You've taken the first step. You forged your war map, tracking every dollar like a general scouting the terrain. You sharpened your blade, cutting waste and bleeding expenses with surgical precision. You built your shield, creating an emergency fund to stand tall when life fires its arrows. You trained for the long war, mastering your monthly budget like daily combat drills. You expanded your territory, learning accounting as the secret language of power. And finally, you chose to lead the army, taking full ownership of your future with unshakable discipline. This isn't a game. It's not theory. It's war. Every day, every paycheck, every decision. And while others drown in debt, fear, and confusion, you will walk through the chaos with calm eyes and steady hands. Why? Because you planned for the fire. Because you trained in the silence. Because you chose to build your life on discipline, awareness, and truth, when no one else would. You're no longer hoping for peace. You're preparing for war. And in doing so, you'll earn a peace no one can take from you. So remember this: the storm will come, but you are not the same man who would have been broken by it. Now you are the storm. GrimFace out.